Hi guys, welcome to the channel for Pure Price Action, and this my very first video. Hope you all enjoy the content and hopefully more to come. On this video I'll be covering how to use this table. This is my daily table that I post out on Twitter every morning, looking at my key levels for the markets that I cover. So just to tell you what the data in this table is all about. Firstly, the market. These are the 5 markets that I cover: DAX, FTSE, S&P, Dow, Nasdaq. The most important thing for each market is the daily bias. Now, using my own analysis for each market, which is multifaceted, I look at stocks, I look at correlated markets, etc. I develop a daily bias, and it will either be long or short. That's what the L and S are about. So most days, all markets will be either all long or all will be short. Occasionally you get markets diverging, where in this example that I've got here, DAX would have been a long, FTSE would have been a short. So the most important thing overall is a bias. Long means we're buying dips, short means we're selling rallies on that day. The next item on the table, the next column here, is the invalidation level. So that's the level above which my long bias would remain valid. So on that day, 11,840 was the level above which I'd want to continue buying dips. If that level breaks decisively, and decisively is subjective, I should say, but if it breaks that level, I will probably stop buying dips on that day and basically wait until the following day for new setups to appear. But as long as the price is above that, it remains valid. Next is the entry order. So if I'm going to trade on the day, I'll set an entry order. In this case, it would have been at 11,973. A stop loss. Typically, I have a fixed stop loss on each market. It's normally about 50 points on DAX, 40 on FTSE, 10 to 15 on S&P, 100 to 150 on Dow, and about 40 to 50 on Nasdaq. Again, these are general levels. For the stop loss, I sometimes go higher or lower, depending on the day. The next 2 items are target 1 and target 2. So that's just simply the target for my trade at which I'd look to scale out. Okay, the other items on the table, any news events coming up, it's important to keep note because they can cause some volatility in the price for the day. So on this day, just for example, I would have a note of the key items. In this case, Fed chair testifies on that day. I'd also look at the VIX, and I'm looking at the overall level of the VIX as well as is it rising or falling day by day. And that's important. A rising VIX would imply increasing volatility, and vice versa if it was falling. Do pay attention to the notes. They give you some good insight into what everything is all about. And the very first item here is that prices are cash prices. So these prices are the cash market, not the futures. You will need to look up the futures prices on the day, and they do vary by broker, and adjust this accordingly. So for instance, if the DAX future was 20 points higher, you'd have to add 20 points to this entry order to align it with the futures price. So I use IG for these levels. These levels are all driven by a chart in IG, and that's a level, if you want to use as a reference, you can do. So these are cash prices in IG. Okay, of course, do your own research. Nothing that I give you here is advice. What I'm posting here are my entry orders and my levels for the day. You can use them in your analysis, but obviously do not take it as advice. Okay, moving on to how I apply these to charts. So I'm taking DAX as an example. On this day I had a long bias, so I'm looking to buy dips. Okay, and then I'd plot out all of my key points on the chart here, starting with the invalidation level. So I've marked the invalidation level out. Next I'd mark out my entry level, 11,973 in this case, that would be there. My stop loss would be here, target 1 and target 2. And that's it. I'd set my entry order. There's a few ways you can play it. I prefer to set my order and let it play out. You may prefer to just watch it manually, but it's entirely your call. My preference, I always just set the entry order. I go to my IG platform, I set my order, and I leave it. Most of the cases, the price will come down to my entry order. In this case, I'm looking to buy dips. Remember, I'm not looking for a straight move to prices. I'm only looking to buy the dips. If it gets to my, if it triggers my entry, it'll bounce for a bit. It occasionally doesn't reach any of the targets. In fact, very frequently it doesn't reach any of the targets. But what I look to do is start scaling out on the bounce back from this level. So if I'm buying dips, price hits my entry and it starts bouncing, I would look to scale out. The first scale out point would be a distance equal to my stop loss. In this case it was 50 points. So when the price moves up 50 points, I would look to scale out. And that is it. Okay, hope that was helpful. Do like and subscribe. Hopefully you are making use of the good stuff that I'm putting out. If you like it, like and subscribe. As you know, I don't charge anything for my work here, but I do feed off all your likes and subscribe, and I love all the love and attention I get. So do like this, do share it, do subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back with more. Best of luck.